Good to see you.
Where are you from?
We're from the Betoota Advocate.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Channel Country. What do you reckon is going to happen today, mate?
I don't know. I don't think it matters what happens as far as the people goes. It's the policies that need to change. I mean, people in regional Australia have been forgotten. We need to bring back zonal taxation, things like that, so that we've got a fair go.
Do you reckon we should, there's been talk recently, it's come up again. WA's kicked up, they've gone wild on them.
Yeah.
Same thing's happening up north.
Yeah.
When are they going to secede? When are we going to get...
Well, of course, yeah, North Queensland should be a separate state.
Yes.
It's over 1,000 kilometres from Brisbane where the decisions are made, and I'm the biggest employer in North Queensland. Same thing's true with Western Australia. You know, Western Australia loses $4 billion every year in GST. It's collected in Western Australia, goes over to the southern states. Now, why it does that is because that's where the votes are.
Yeah.
But the people of Western Australia who are paying the GST deserve to have in their communities, because the Western Australian government's lost their AAA credit rating, they're now AA. And Western Australians are paying a lot more for hospitals, schools and everything.
Regardless of what happens here this morning, do you think that the Liberal Party is the best party to be running our national bank account, the Treasury?
When you say running with the bank accounts, do you mean running away with the bank accounts? That's the question. Well, look, Australia's debt at the moment is 12% of our GDP. When Doug Anthony and Bob Menzies, with those guys were around, our debt was 40% of our GDP. So that means that 30% of our country's capacity is no longer being used to promote this country and spent in Australia. It's being sent overseas, or it's being used in some other country. You know, so we've got to get back to what we can do in Australia. We can't even feed ourselves in 5 years' time, and you know, the National Party in particular has let down Australia because it hasn't supported decentralisation, hasn't supported rural industries. We've got closures. We saw what happened in Victoria with SPC. All these policies have got to be looked at, and remembering that we have to produce something to produce some wealth. All the incentives gone. You don't see any government incentive to do anything anymore.
Mate, what are you going to do about the dingoes? You know, we need someone to do something about the dingoes in the Channel Country. The wool industry is folding.
Well, our policy, of course, is in Queensland. John Bjelke-Petersen announced that we should have the dingo fence right along the Queensland border up there. In Northern Territory, we need to stop all the dingoes coming through, and the cost of that's about $15 million. It's not a lot of money in the total mix of everything. It just shows you the priority of the National Party. If they can't get a dingo fence, what can they do? And this is the whole problem. You know, I've got a lot of friends up there, I've got properties up there, and we're seeing what's happened with the sheep industry. It's virtually been wiped out. Merinos can no longer be kept in a lot of the properties in Western Queensland. And this is just, again, saying that the regional Australia doesn't have the priority it needs to have. I was the official spokesman of the National Party. I was a National Party member for 40 years, life member of the National Party, and it's forgotten. It's been taken over by the Liberal Party and the city people, and rural and regional Australia has been forgotten. That's why I'm in Parliament, to try to get a fair go for people in our regions. All right, I've got to go over another interview.
All right, see you, Clive. You going to come to the races in August down there in Betoota?
Send me an invite, mate.
Most definitely. We'd love to have you, mate. That was Clive Palmer, big friend of Betoota.
That was Big Clive.
Haven't seen him in years.